Hello and welcome to A Lovely Time, a podcast where we speak to comedians to find out how they would spend a perfect day. I'm Amy Gledhill and my idea of a lovely time is sinking into a ball pool until the end of time. My guest today is a comedian, vegan, actor, vegan, podcaster, musical genius and vegan. Very cheeky. It's Jake Yapp. Let's have a lovely time then, shall we? Jake
Hi, Amy.
Yapp.
Oh,
How are you doing?
Hi. Yeah, very well. Very, really good. Really good.
Really?
No,
I believe you.
No. Yeah.
For
Okay.
sure.
Good. Then yes.
Are you having a lovely lockdown?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been doing lockdowns for probably about 15 years.
Yeah.
We always used to do a lockdown before it was trendy.
Sure.
It was more just being sort of shut in a cellar for, around about a childhood. So it was good. I'm sort of well accustomed.
Okay.
I mean, I was homeschooled. Actually, for the year before lockdown happened, I was homeschooling my child, by which I mean my partner was homeschooling my child. And so when everyone was kind of like, oh, here we are, locked down with the kids, I was like, enjoy it.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. Call me in a week. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you're acclimatized, fully acclimatized?
Yes. I don't really remember any other life. Do you?
No, not at all. And actually, when I start thinking about being free again, I immediately think, oh, brilliant. And then I think, oh, no, I don't want that. That sounds terrifying.
Don't want that, no. Yeah. Also, the minute you said, when I think about being free, I sort of wanted to hear you do it in a Russian accent. Because it's that sort of, you can be free inside your mind with dreams. And I love Depeche Mode. Best band ever, because in your dreams you are free. That's just the thing I have.
That's lovely. You see, that's what an extra year of lockdown would do.
In my childhood in my cellar, I was free with Depeche Mode, best band. I saw a documentary. I say that because I saw a documentary by a guy, and I can't remember his name, but he did an amazing project called Acid Brass. It's an amazing album where he took the music of digital sort of modern dance. I say modern, like 25, 30 years old. Bob State. You know Bob State? 808 State. The font always confused me. 808 State. And he arranged all of this sort of dance music, like club dance music, for a brass band. And they played it. And it sounds amazing. And he did another documentary about Depeche Mode and how important Depeche Mode is to people in Eastern Bloc, because we can be free. When I hear the music. Anyway, so that stuff that just goes into your brain and inextricably becomes some synaptic part of you, whether you want it to or not. That's one of those things.
Oh, wow. Oh, I really want to hear this music. Where can we find that?
I'll send you some and you can stick in however much you feel brave enough to play on the podcast.
Okay, that's good.
You must have things like that, like really weird, obscure things that you see once that just kind of get stuck in there. You know what I mean? That you can't help kind of quoting. You must have that. I mean, you work with Chris Cantrell.
Jingles from adverts stuck in my head, but I never sing them correctly. So there's one at the minute that goes splishy, splashy, sploshy, life boys, but I sing Wild Boys or Right Guard. And I do it so often in my head that sometimes, because if I've got a mask on walking around a shop, I incorrectly think that because my mouth is covered, I can't be heard.
People can't hear you.
So I'll just be on my own going splishy, splashy, sploshy, Wild Boys.
Fantastic. It's a fun way to make friends.
Yep. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Got all the wild boys hanging outside my front
and
garden.
all the splishy, splashy, sploshy going on.
Splishy, splashy, splashy. On that note, let's talk about a time you have had a good time, a lovely time. So something in your past where you go, oh, that was a nice day or a nice moment.
Yeah. Well, I've listened to some of these episodes, obviously, before doing this. And
I don't believe you.
And I did. I listened to the one with the guy who's all about the Nazis thing, and the one with the guy who said something else. But I don't retain anything. But I did listen to two of them. Okay. But what I don't know is, because I haven't been exhaustive. Has anyone yet talked about having a poo? Because
you know it hasn't come up yet. No.
Honestly, it's like a spa break. You know what I mean? Like candles, classic FM, rose petals on the wall. It's like a bath, but sort of more romantic almost. Just having a nice poo. It's just lovely. And if it goes well, like I don't want to go in, like, I don't want to overshare, and I'm not into that whole kind. When people talk graphically about, I'm not into that. But what I'm saying is, you know what I mean? When there's a nice action, like a clean jerk, you know what I mean? Like is that a weightlifting thing or gymnastics? I don't know. It's just it's lovely. It's really lovely.
And then you certainly feel better afterwards. It's a real mood boost.
Oh, God, yeah. It's like the wind whistling through it. But if I was going to move on from that, which I think I probably should have done about a minute and a half ago, the last time I had a lovely time, I think I was about 16. I think it's like my dad's birthday party. My dad would have this big annual birthday party. He really likes cricket, and he'd have a cricket match, and all his friends would have to play cricket. My dad is a very unassuming man. This is very uncharacteristic. Like once a year, the megalomania would just rise and be concentrated into one day. And so we'd all have to go and play these cricket matches, and nobody really wanted to, apart from like two competitive blokes. And we play cricket out on like the municipal cricket ground, and then we go back. What would happen? My dad would spend like 2 or 3 days cooking for this party, and then in the evening there'd be a party. So my dad's sort of birthday treat was to cook for 3 days and then feed everyone. He was a real spoilt dad, but what the hell. There was one great year when he was wicket keeping, and because they were men, they were using a proper cricket ball. There was always an option that you could use a tennis bat and a tennis ball if you want, like a foam one. Yeah. But these were real men doing it properly. And I watched the bowler deliver the ball, and the ball left his hand, bounced off the, what's it called? The strip, the ground. Yeah. Bounced off the bat, bounced off the wicket, and bounced off the bridge of my dad's nose. And then he hit the floor, and then someone said, has anyone got a mobile phone? It was like, it's 1994. Like, no one's got a mobile. What are you talking about? It wasn't even, it was like 1990. Nobody had a mobile phone. So I had to run to the nearest phone box and get an ambulance, and he'd broken his nose. Oh my God, really? Yeah, it's hilarious. But anyway, it was a lovely time because there was this really great rice pudding, which I can't overstate how good the rice pudding was. It had like little cherries in it, like glacé cherries in it. And Dad would make it every year. It was kind of slightly boozy. Oh. It was a great rice pudding, and so I would say that was the last lovely time.
That is a lovely time. That sounds almost like from a children's book. People playing cricket, lots of cooking going on. It sounds very quaint. Where did you grow up? Whereabouts?
Well, that's the thing. Like my dad was sort of upper middle class, and my mum was working class, and they sort of met kind of in the middle, in the sort of absolute scrag end middle class. You know what I mean? Like the absolute bottom of the, and it was that sort of cultural middle class, not financial middle class. There's like the financial middle class who've got money. Yeah. And then there's like cultural middle class who don't have money, but sort of as a treat go to the NFT once every 3 months. Yes. So they were that kind. So that's where Dad's kind of cricket imprinting stuff came in. But we were always doing it in the local park in southeast London, where
wow,
it was, the real trick was avoiding the dog muck on the wicket.
Oh, picturesque days.
Yeah, well, they were
Halcyon
picturesque
days.
because no one had mobile phones, so they couldn't get nicked by kids walking through saying, "Can I just have a look at your mobile phone, please?" Are you calling me a thief? That is rude. Why are you calling me a thief?
Oh, no. I'm so scared of that happening because my parents have told me that living in London, everyone gets mugged every single day. So I presume everyone buys a new mobile phone every time they go out. So
Yeah.
I've just, obviously, I'm not going out.
Yeah, they call them burners.
When I am allowed out.
Yeah, no, that's it. Kiss goodbye to your mobile
Yeah.
phone. Maybe just save a yogurt pot, and next time you go out, say, "Here you are. This is my Nokia Yog 320." I assumed that because I went when I was about 29. I applied to do a job in Washington DC in the States, working at BBC America, and I assumed, like you, I assumed about America that within 5 hours you'd be shot.
Yeah.
And I was kind of ready, so I was like, well, okay, it's time. It's time for me to go, so I applied for that and I got the job. And it was more like 9 hours, which was a huge bonus.
Wow.
So,
I was going to say, you're looking good for someone who's
yeah.
shot at
But
so much.
Listen, ready?
Yeah.
That's the bullet hole in my head. If I pinch my nose, I can.
Oh, it's impressive.
Yeah,
Did you have a lovely time in America?
Yeah, I did.
You?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was quite lovely.
Okay. That
DC
sounds nice.
was fun, and there was loads of ice cream, and basically for breakfast, there's a sort of theme emerging, isn't there? It was basically cake for breakfast. That's all they eat really in America in various forms. You can have like dehydrated cake, which they pass off as cereal. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's that kind of
Sure.
what are they called?
Sure.
Iced gems or ricey babies? I don't know.
I started eating cake for breakfast quite recently.
I think it's a good step.
It felt brilliant. The first day, it feels like a treat. Like, oh my
Right.
God, am I actually going to have cake for breakfast? Yeah, I can because I'm an adult and it's
Yeah, yeah.
lockdown. I deserve a bit of cake for breakfast. But honestly, day 3, it's not a
enjoying it
treat anymore. Feels quite sad.
Do you think, is your system screaming for wheat germ? Like, is there a...
Well, I've got a lot.
I
I'm
bet you have gone
surrounded
back
by
to
lots of like bits of pineapple at the moment and things like that.
Yeah, I was
'cause
going
I'm
to say,
having like.
you've got like a golden pineapple behind you. Is that all the fruit you own? Like,
Yeah, I just figured if
ornamental.
I buy metal fruit as ornaments, it'll sort of I'll get it in my system via osmosis. I
Right.
presume.
And subliminally, you're sort of messaging yourself. Like if you have Wayne Thiebaud prints of cake, he has the most beautiful paintings of cake.
Oh, I do love. You've got a new podcast about food, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's the Vegan Life. Thanks very much, Vegan Life magazine podcast. It's not just for vegans though; it's just amazing tips of things to cook.
Yeah, amazing.
And
Is food an important part of having a lovely time?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, when I got your email thing saying what would your idea of a lovely time be, and I think it is the sort of imprinting from my dad. I would love to spend 2 days cooking food for everybody and then feeding them. Like I'm a bit of an enabler, I think.
Do you do cake for breakfast?
I don't do breakfast cakes, but I can do things that definitely taste like cakes for breakfast.
Okay, all right.
You
Well,
know what
that
I mean?
sounds good.
If you get your overnight oats right, it should taste like cake mix.
I've never done overnight oats.
It's not bad
Really?
if you're into cake mix. Yeah,
Okay.
you can get
well,
this.
Maybe
you
I'll
can get
listen to
this
your
fake-
podcast and maybe the overnight oats will be my new breakfast cake.
Okay, there's no overnight oats in the podcast. I should try.
Okay, sorry.
I'll try
Okay,
it.
so
Yeah.
so sorry about that. So let's construct your perfect time. So there's no limitations to budget or location or time in history. You can do whatever you want, and it can be as small as you want or as big as you want.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's start with where you would be.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, maybe like the suburbs. I'm going
Okay.
very retro. Like I'm sort of taking it back to my childhood. Like I'm a product of the suburbs. I like the suburbs because 20 minutes either way, you're either in town or the countryside.
Oh, that's good.
I
isn't
like
it?
having the options. You know.
Do you live in the suburbs now?
I live in Bedford. It's like the whole thing is just zoned as suburb. It's quite nice. There's I don't know if you've been to Bedford, and I don't know why you would, but there's sort of a slightly groovy shop, and they're selling T-shirts now that just somewhat defensively just say, "The river's nice." That like that, yeah, and it's spot on. Like the river's nice. Sure.
Okay, that's good. I
So
love a
yeah, I
river.
think like a summer kind of picnic party would be really fun.
Oh yeah.
You know. And you could do lots of fun picnic foods. I would like to say I really do enjoy cooking and playing in the kitchen. That is definitely my happy place.
Okay.
So if you were doing that with a sort of end goal of, you know, pushing it into lots of people's mouths afterwards, I think that would be a fun thing.
That sounds really
Like-
nice. So you'd be outside in a park in the suburbs?
Yeah, although again we're back to the dog muck and muggers, aren't we? Like, I haven't thought this through at all.
No, well, but in your park, in this special park in your imagination, dog muck it doesn't
Oh, okay.
exist.
Cool. Well, okay. Well, this park is it's an idyllic sort of suburban park. It's just that it's got, you know, like the wall on the West Bank between Israel and Palestine.
Sure.
It's like 5 meters high, missile-proof concrete to keep everyone out except, you know, 7 people I like. Is that unreasonable? I don't know.
That sounds great. Okay.
Cool.
And
I want an Iron Dome defense system that can shoot down anything, like, you know, so much as a drone tries to stray over to see what's in my picnic.
do you experience that quite a lot? These drones.
I do, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Is it a problem in Bedford? Picnic spying.
No, it isn't. The dog muck is definitely more prevalent as a problem.
Okay.
Dog ownership is just. I think one of you had a guest who said something about having a dog or dogs, didn't you?
Yeah. So one person wanted. I think it was Jordan Brooks.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 people have mentioned dogs. Jordan Brooks wanted
Yeah.
to hang around with his friends, but
Yeah.
not hang around with his friends. So they were dogs
Yeah.
with the faces of his friends.
Yeah. I'm just saying, for me, a lovely time is not having a hand filled with a little black plastic bag with a warm dog turd in it. Like anything is more lovely than that.
Well,
Oh
each
God,
to their
it's
own.
just been poo the
I'm
whole
sure
way.
for some
I'm
people,
really sorry.
That is a perfect day.
It's a hand warmer, but it's. You
It's
know.
a little.
Oh, it's going cold.
little
I'm just going to
hand
squidge.
warmer.
Hang on. Yeah, I'm sorry. This has been entirely poo based, and I apologise. I didn't mean for that.
What sort of seating would you have at this picnic? Are you on
That's
the
a
floor?
really good question. Because that's the big problem with picnics, is it requires a degree of core strength, which I just don't have. You know? So, and benches are no good. I think I want it like, you know, like the Winnie the Pooh picnic you always see the picture of with like the long trestle table that's been laid out. That's what I want. With a linen tablecloth under an apple tree. That's what I want. I want it to be in a massive garden. I want it to be in my cousin's old garden from my childhood. That to me was idyllic. Turned out they were all incredibly miserable. But I thought it was idyllic at the time. They managed to hold it together for the 4 days I go there for a visit.
Oh, that sounds nice. A big garden.
A big garden
lovely
with an apple
long
tree.
table.
Yeah.
Apple
With
trees.
like a white linen tablecloth or a blue and white striped one, you know, and comfy chairs. And then you could like drink and slump easily.
Yes, and ice would be available if it's in someone's garden. I
Yeah,
think
and there's
that's
a
the
loo,
thing with
there's a
picnics.
toilet
Temperature
just
of
there.
food changes.
Yeah. God, I have proper lavatorial panic, don't I? I mean, all I've talked about.
Do you need to take some Imodium or something? Is it on your mind?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Are you digestively comfortable?
Yeah, I'm
right now?
perfectly. I feel very secure.
Okay,
looking
so
forward
what
to-
would you be eating and drinking on this picnic? Let's start with drinks. What would you go for?
Oh, a fruity thing. Oh, I had a cocktail once that was really lovely at first, and then I nearly killed someone. It was like a Swish corporate schmoozy do where they were schmoozing kind of actors and stuff. I wasn't. I was on the corporate side at the time, and you can make this at home. It's very simple. It's lychee juice.
Oh yes.
You know, like the stuff you get in the newsagents with a lot of gin and maybe like some mint or like a nettle. Who knows? You don't care by then. And you just drink it, and then you pick up a colleague while you're dancing and very nearly smash their head really hard into the ground when you drop them. But didn't. Well, I mean, she was very relaxed. She'd had lots of gin, so she was fine. That's a great cocktail, though. It's very easy.
That sounds incredible. What's it? Does it have a name? What's it called?
The
Headbanger.
Peter. I don't know. It doesn't have a name. I don't know. Okay. It probably has a name. The other one you can do is a champagne cocktail. That's a lot of fun, but that's more Christmassy. But that's my other go-to drink, where you get a sugar cube and you drip some Angostura bitters on it. You know that stuff?
Yeah,
this kind of aromatic thing. And you put that in the bottom of the glass. And then you put in a little bit of brandy. And then you top it up with champagne. Prosecco, obviously. Champagne. And then sort of as you drink it, the sugar dissolves. And so it's like champagne, but it's not as hard to drink as Prosecco or champagne, you know, because it gets sweetened. So it tastes nice.
That sounds incredible.
And then the next thing you know, you've had your head smashed open on a dance floor. I don't know, but those are good drinks. I like those drinks. Those.
Oh my god. Okay. So
and then food. You're asking about food?
Yeah. Well, let's have some food. Let's have some food options.
I'm gonna go with the vegan sausage roll.
Oh, you just broke up a bit there. Say that. What was it? What did you just say?
I'm gonna go with the vegan sausage roll. I don't know if you can hear the helicopter circling overhead. Can you hear that?
I can. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's I was just having a look at someone's mobile phone in the park, and evidently I forgot to switch it off.
Days, don't they?
And so the location thing and everything, it's such a rookie mistake. But I'd say vegan sausage rolls.
Yeah.
They're just so good, and I make the best chocolate brownies.
Do you?
I do, yeah. They're like really, really, really good. How would you define a chocolate brownie? Like, what for you are the key criteria?
Okay, it's all about texture, isn't it? A brownie. It's about having that moisture, but structure, but with a sort of elasticity almost to it.
Okay.
But then I like the top to be a bit crispier.
Exactly. Thank God, because I was worried you weren't going to say that. Because there are some people who will just accept just a sort of dense, wet thing, you know, and I'm not okay with that.
No, sir.
No, I'm not having like basically fairy cake mix that's just been compacted. That's not okay. There has to be a crust, a palpable, chewy crispiness, and then a fudgy density underneath that.
Yes.
And I've got that recipe. I'll share that recipe with you if you like.
Yes, please do.
I know a professional baker, and I was like, this is the recipe you want for your chocolate brownies. And she was like, I've tried so many recipes, and this is definitely the best one.
What's the secret to it?
You basically you have like your sort of your vegan butter and your sugar and your cocoa, and you sort of just bypass the whole flour element. You're basically baking fudge. It's baked fudge. No, I mean there is some flour. You show it the flour, but just swill it round the pan
sprinkle,
and then empty
little
it.
sprinkle
Yeah.
on top.
Yeah.
Oh, that does sound good.
No, but it is. It's. I mean, it's the sort of thing you should probably only eat once every 100 years.
Or for breakfast every day, depending on how your lockdown's going.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not judging.
No.
We're not judging. Are you a sweet tooth or a salty dog? is that the options?
I don't. I mean, I could sort of see the rising panic in your face as you said that, which was fun.
Salty
a
dog.
salty dog. Oh God, I've said that. Okay, fine. I'm sort of an omni dog. You know, I'm anyone's culinarily. You know, I can enjoy everything. What I would say I am is more critical to me is, are you a pasta person or sauce person? Like, if you could only eat the sauce or only eat the pasta, which would you eat?
Oh, good question. I think I'm a sauce girl.
Oh God.
I'm all about flavour. I want bread.
No.
I just want to dip it in stuff. I like the wetness of things. I like your jam. I like your butter. I like your chocolate spread. I like your pasta sauces. Jake's left the conversation. He's left the room.
Yeah. I'm still here. I'm just not.
I take it you're a pasta man, Jake?
Yes. Hello. Come on. Yeah, I like pasta. I like the taste of. I like the taste of. I like the taste of flour. You know what I mean? Like, I like a plain cake. You probably have to have some jazzy cake with, you know, all the business going on.
My taste palette is absolute trash.
I like a rock cake. You know.
Do you?
It tastes like cake. See, I can see you're backing off the mic now.
Yeah, I'm out. I just no. What's it? Ice cream flavors. What do you go for?
Mashed potato. If I'm splurging, eel. But no, then I'm happy to go. I'm happy to go as busy as you want.
You see, I do love mashed potato. I could eat mashed potato.
Right, there you go. Fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what? I'll tell you something that bizarrely would be a lovely time.
Go for it.
You know what would be really lovely? Would be to be about 10 and only slightly ill. Like with a cold. And to have the smell of Vicks on your chest. And to have your mum or dad make you mashed potato in an island form, surrounded by Heinz cream of tomato soup.
Oh my God.
And you can sort of hear the radio in the back, like in another room where they're doing the cooking, and you're just sort of lying there in a very kind of chilled out. Bizarrely, that would be a lovely time.
That would be such a lovely time. That actually feels quite emotional thinking about that.
Yeah.
I love that. My mum used to make, well, still makes, this stew in winter. And I always remember having a bowl of hot stew and dumplings if I was ill. Yes. And I remember once having...
I suppose you picked out the dumplings and flicked them across the room, didn't you? Sauce girl.
No, I just dipped them in ketchup and jam.
How dare you? Your poor mother slaving over her bumpkin dumpling press. I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh, I loved it so much. And I remember having a flu where I was being very sick and I couldn't keep anything down. And I remember crying. I was I think I was about 16. And I remember sobbing and crying and just saying, I just want to be able to have some stew.
Yeah,
it was so nice. It was so comforting.
Yeah. Do you know what? Once lockdown's over, why don't we set up like the Paulie Cafe, where you can go and instead of tables and chairs, there's beds. And in bed, we'll bring you soup or stew. You know what I mean? And you get complimentary sachet or little pot of Vicks to rub on your chest.
That would be so good.
And it's like
beds
slightly
or
too warm.
Sofas with duvets.
Yes, and there's a telly at the end. There's a telly at the end of it.
Oh my God!
And you can watch only TV that goes up to I would say probably 1998. That's the most modern TV you're allowed to watch.
It's UK Gold, all day, every day.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, that sounds. I'd love that.
That would be lovely. That would be a lovely time.
The Comfort Cafe.
The Comfort Cafe.
because if you're in London between meetings and you've got nowhere to go, and
Yeah,
you think,
just-
I just wish I could just, I wish I could just have like a living room or a
Yeah.
sofa to myself just for a
Yeah.
few hours. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was gonna try and think of a restaurant name along the lines of Pulla Sickie, but that's just not the image you want when you're serving up food, is it?
We still
We're
need
not
to work
Heston
on that a bit.
Blumenthal, are we?
We'll continue
It's
working on that.
Yeah.
Who would be there at your lovely time?
You just don't care. I don't care. I just want to make the food. Spend 2 days making food and then eating 2 days worth of food. I say I'm an enabler. The truth is, I want to make mounds of food so I can eat mounds of food without anyone really noticing. If I make enough,
I get you. Yeah,
it's a drop in the ocean. No one can really see, and I just don't care as long as they're enjoying it. That's the thing. I hate the idea of people coming to a party that don't really want to be there.
Yeah.
So if it's not your thing, do not come. Do not come. I had an English teacher. I've only sort of retrospectively realised I had quite inappropriate relationships with quite a lot of my teachers. And there was one English teacher. She wasn't even my teacher, but she invited me to her birthday party. And I went, and sort of almost kind of had a anyway. To stay focused on the story, this English teacher, who was not my English teacher, also invited my English teacher, and she said, "You're invited, but don't come," because she was like, "You won't enjoy it, so don't come. Obviously, you're invited because I like you, but don't come because it's just not your thing." And she was right; it wasn't.
Oh wow!
So if you don't don't come. If you don't want to, honestly, don't come. I don't mind. Or you can just sit indoors in the bed and watch UK Gold with Vicks on your chest, or vegan lanolin.
The prototype of the Comfort Cafe.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Oh, I love that. That's really empowering to say you're invited, but don't come.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of empowering to the person saying it. the person receiving that is quite a blow.
Oh no, come on! How many times are you invited to stuff that you don't really want to go to?
Yeah, that's.
But
true.
you want to be. I want to be invited. I want to be included, but I don't want to actually have to turn up. I'm not going to be brushing my hair for this person.
Yeah, putting shoes on and yeah.
Oh, I like that.
So yeah, anyone who I just I don't care who comes as long as they're enjoying it.
What would spoil this lovely time? What chaos element would spoil this lovely time?
So what would make it not lovely?
Yeah, what one element would ruin it? I always say if I have wet socks, if my feet have got wet during the day, that decreases any enjoyment by about 25%.
My socks are permanently wet, so for medical reasons. So I'm always wearing Veruca socks. 3 a day. I don't want to go into it. But what would make it not lovely? I hate to, I hate to bring this one up. But it's if you, especially at a party, the minute someone says, "So why are you vegan?" and you're like, "Don't."
Sure.
It's like the Hulk. It's like, don't make me angry. You won't like that. So I've had this happen where I sort of said, "Oh, just reasons. Let's not worry about it. Enjoy your cheese board." And then they're going to go, no, but why? And it's like, no. And I do, I generally try and swerve it, particularly if people are eating. It's like, now is not the moment to recruit a new vegan to the brother and sisterhood because no one has ever shamed anyone into doing anything. But so you get these people who sort of they obviously feel bad about I think a lot, just like David Mitchell, he wrote a great article sort of saying, well, the reason we hate vegans is because we know they're right.
Of course,
it's not about that. They're right. That's why we hate them. Which is fair. It's no one ever thanks you for telling the truth. And so you do get at parties, you get someone sort of saying, "Oh, what do you eat? Carrots? What if an onion? Oh, you don't think about the onion's feelings, are you?" I had a guy, he did such tortuous logic to try and justify eating meat. He said his final argument after like hours of this was to say, well, we have to have cheap farmed chicken, because if we didn't, kids would starve. And you could sort of, he's almost welling up, I will not let kids starve. And that's why I eat meat. And you're like, cool. I don't think I'm going to win you over today. So I would say what would make my party not lovely would be someone sort of bringing a live duck and a rabbit to the table and strangling them on the table and skinning them and seeing their dead eyes staring lifelessly skyward, the whites filling with blood as their once noble bodies, stripped of their skin and broken down into mutilated pieces, are no longer recognizable as creatures. Their once vital, now abstracted bodies, what we would now call meat.
I hear what you're saying, but what about the kids, Jake? What about the What about
I
the
will
kids,
not sanction. So
kids
also Phil Collins. I cannot stand Phil Collins. In fact, if I had to choose, Phil Collins would make it worse than that. If I had to. And actually, weirdly, there's something about Phil Collins. Whenever I hear Phil Collins, I can smell gravy. It's that. What's that? The synesthesia, you know. I can feel it calling. And rather than Cadbury's chocolate, it's just gravy. It's like Sunday afternoon in the 80s. Like just the worst of everything. Your neighbour making a roast dinner and it coming out of their window. Not the dinner, the Phil Collins. That would be
I think
mad.
that's absolutely fair enough.
Yeah, Phil Collins would make it singularly unlovely.
He's not coming to the picnic. Oh, well, I think that's such a picturesque and really quite quaint idea of a lovely time. I think it's I think a picnic is maybe
like a Winnie the Pooh type. Yeah,
the word picnic is maybe the quickest way, like a shortcut of getting to imagining a lovely time in your head.
Yeah,
picnics
but I think
lovely.
Picnics with furniture.
Picnics with furniture, yeah. Yes.
Which was their terrible follow-up to Dances with Wolves. I mean, it was better than the original, but it was still pretty dire.
Oh, I know. I love this.
Kevin Costner.
I
actually,
absolutely love it. I think you've really nailed it there, Mr. Yapp. I think you've absolutely nailed it.
Thank you.
And yeah, I wouldn't want Phil Collins. No offence to the man. I wouldn't want him anywhere near me when I'm trying to have a lovely time. No.
Unless I was eating like a Yorkshire pudding, in which case the gravy would be fine.
Oh, imagine smelling gravy when you think of someone. There's a girl I used to work with whenever I
wow, I can't wait to find out where you're going with it. Yeah.
I smell tinned chicken soup.
There you go. Same thing.
There we go. But I think that was because I don't think she washed her clothes very often, and I think that's just what her dried perspiration smelt of.
Oh, tinned chicken soup.
Yeah, very specifically tinned chicken soup, and I've never been able to eat that since, and this was 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, thank God it wasn't tomato soup, because I bloody love tomato soup. So
yeah,
that's fine. It's not ruined my life.
It's weird because I smell of tomato soup. My sweat is exactly that. Well, and it resembles it too. I should probably see a doctor. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you so much for doing this, Jake. Where can people find you? What have you got? What have you got for them to rummage through?
Well, thank you very much. I do a sort of, I'm going to call it a vanity podcast, like there's any other kind, called Not Today, Thank You, and that's every day. But the one I'd really like people to subscribe to and listen to, because conceivably it might actually make me some money one day, is the Vegan Life magazine podcast. It's not just for vegans, it's kind of like Kitchen Cabinets, if you like that, on Radio 4. But just talking about food. It just happens to be vegan food, but it's just food. relax. You eat vegan food. If you've eaten chips or hummus ever, you're part-time vegan.
And they can find you on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes, it's at Urine Looper. No, I'm kidding. Look that up on YouTube though. You haven't lived until you've watched a man snort his own urine, which I did the other day. It's at Jake Yapp, predictably enough. Sorry about that. Literally sniff drinking. It's a thing.
I believe you. I've got no reason to doubt you at this stage. Thank you so
Smiling
much
back away. Sure.
for doing this. We're big fans of yours, and
well, it's entirely mutual.
And it's
people should go and watch Big Fat Like, although you won't make any money out of that. People should listen to these podcasts like 800,000 times.
Sure. Yeah. That sounds better. Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Or go on and on CBBC and say that they want more Big Fat Like.
Yes. Become a commissioner at CBBC.
That would be so helpful. Please, listeners, please do that. That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reviewing, sharing, and subscribing is great, but becoming a commissioner at CBBC is really top of the tree. Okay, I'll shut up now. Sorry. Bye.
Thank you so much, Jake. What an absolute treat. Jake Yapp there, essentially pitching his new podcast, A Lovely Poo. Can't wait. Jake is a real treat, and you really should go listen to his musings, daily musings, I should say, on Not Today podcast. And also his vegan chat is the best vegan chat I've ever heard. Prove me wrong. Go listen now. If you will, not now. Wait for this to end and then pop it on. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for sharing the podcast. And if you could leave us a review, that'd be grand. But if you've got a perfect day to share with us, leave it in the review section on Apple Podcasts and I'll read it out. I'll read out your perfect day. Imagine that. What a treat for all involved. Looking forward to hearing about your lovely times. And don't just say it's listening to this podcast. Come on. Get out of my ass. Tickets are on sale for our July show in Manchester with Alistair Beckett-King, Stevie Martin, Erica Ayler and myself. So if you want to come and you live nearby, go grab a pair from ctickets.co.uk. Tickets are selling really well. It's a bit exciting, really. So don't delay if you can and want to come. And we'll be doing our first ever live show on Saturday the 5th of June, and that one is bloody sold out. So I might see a few of you there at a live gig. Can you imagine such a thing? That's it for this episode. There's only 3 more left in this series. And they are 3 of the absolute best, so make sure you keep on listening. See you next time for another lovely time.
This podcast is made by A Lovely Time Productions and hosted by Amy Gledhill, with music by Jack Evans.
Some military experts are saying this is World War III, actually.